please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. It is expiry day, but all the action will start after 2:30. So for the moment, it's about a 0.5% cut across all indices. Of course, the global headwinds are also to blame. But let's shift focus to the interest rate scenario yet again. The country's largest bank, State Bank of India, has increased interest rates on some retail and some bulk deposits. Anshula Kant, Deputy Managing Director and CFO of SBI, joins us on the phone line. Ms. Kant, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. This comes as a bit of a surprise. If rates are going up, the bond markets indicated otherwise. Rates are going up. Should we expect an MCLR increase therefore?
Good morning, Lata. I don't think we will be increasing our MCLR, but you have to wait and see for the ALCO meeting to do their number crunching. The thing is, we increased 1-year bulk deposit rate. Again, you would have observed for the last couple of months, we've actually been doing a catch-up on the bulk deposit rates. We had been really way out of the market. And now this revision on the 1-year bulk deposit has sort of narrowed the gap between our rate and the rates offered by some of the other banks. This was, impacting our relationship with corporate banks, where we used to see steady, deposits. Okay. There has been huge outflow since this beginning of this financial year because of the low deposit rates. On the retail TD side, actually, if you observe, we have actually increased the rates on the longer tenor. If our 1-year rate is at 6.4 and the 2 years, 3 years, 5 years rates were at 6.5, there was only a 10 basis point differential. And with the steepening of the yield curve, we have just increased the rates at the longer end of the tenor. If you see the differential in the G-Secs on the longer end, it's anywhere between 45 basis points to 90 basis points.
Okay. Can you tell us what percentage of your deposits have gotten affected, both if you include retail plus that bulk?
The bulk would be very negligible,
I think you said 3% last time.
Overall, that's the total bulk.
Okay.
So in that one particular bucket, it would be even lower. So no, they are about 5 to 6%, but in that 1-year bucket, they would be even lower. Typically, you get bulk deposit at the shorter end of the tenor.
Okay. So Ms. Kant, will this have any kind of impact on margins?
Not really. We don't see very large inflows here. At the longer end of the tenor, typically some senior citizens keep retail deposits with us. They like to keep for 2 to 3 years, 5 years.
Okay.
Also, when rates are gradually moving upwards, it makes sense for us to lock in at these rates for the longer term now.
Okay, so no impact on margins. But overall, for the system, for the industry, do you think lending rates would move higher in the near term?
It's difficult to say, with the bond movements yesterday. I think we should see a stable situation for the early, next few months. I don't know.
Okay, but this retail deposits, what percentage would they form over 1 year, the ones for which you have raised rates?
Oh, it would be a, very, very small proportion. 7 to 7. I would imagine about 20%.
20% of your
20%, and maybe all three put together would be about 35%.
Okay, for 35% of your funds, you have raised the cost of money. So it should have an impact,
no? Lata, it doesn't work like that because, the existing deposits get repriced only, at the maturity. Yes.
No, I take your point. Therefore, for the system as a whole, how will you manage? Because bond yields have fallen, corporates will be tempted to go there, isn't it? Therefore, you will be forced not to pass on your hikes, isn't it? So there logically should be a pressure, just to reiterate Sonia's question, on your margins.
Like I said, we've done the maths. Immediate impact is very minimal on the margins. And we do expect, as credit growth picks up, and we are seeing it now, funds should move out of the corporate bond portfolio and the commercial paper portfolio into our loan book. I think that will have an upward impact on our margins going forward.
Okay. I also wanted to ask you, we are getting some details on the advance tax that PSU banks have paid so far in this quarter. And we're hearing that SBI has paid about 600 crores this quarter versus 1400 crores they paid last quarter. Is that accurate?
No, that's not accurate, and I don't think we give out this number in the public domain,
Okay.
No, you don't give out, but it normally leaks out, ma'am. We get everybody's advance
No, but
taxes.
this is not accurate, the number.
600 crore is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but is it less than what we saw last quarter?
Yes, it is less than what we saw.
No, I mean, I'll tell you the reason for advance taxes obviously becoming important because of the February 12th circular. The expectations is that a lot of recognition will happen this quarter. So, you had a red on your bottom line last quarter. Will that be forced this quarter as well?
Lata, you can't expect me to answer that question on 28th March.
All right. Okay. Well, at least you all will be green in your bond portfolio, right? 7.29 today.
Again, let's wait for the day to end today.
All right.
We'll see. Yeah.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Ms. Kant, for joining us. Okay, so it's not 600 crores. And we don't have a clear idea whether it's lower. But yes, I wouldn't be surprised if taxes were nil in several cases, simply because a lot of recognition can happen.
Okay, well, we have the Hindustan Aeronautics listing, right, in just about 15 seconds. We are expecting a very tepid listing this time around. As we know, the subscription was hardly anything, less than 1 times over subscribed, and retail portion was also very minimal. So the expectation is that it will be a tepid listing for Hindustan Aeronautics.
Congratulations.
Okay, there you have it. That's the first trade, down almost about 4.5% or so. Even if you look at the financials of the company, they haven't really been impressive. Just a 4% compounded annual growth rate over the last 4 years. So on expected lines, this has been a listing with no fireworks at all, down almost 4.5%.
Yeah, and of course also coming on a day when, coming at a time and on a day when things are not looking up for the market. But okay, the discount is now getting reduced, 3.5–4% discount to the offer price. That's where Hindustan Aeronautics has listed. The big story is that in future there will be defense orders, and that's why the historical CAGR, the government thought perhaps would be overlooked.
Yeah.
But at the moment, that listing, clearly disappointment on Hindustan Aeronautics. Well, with that, let's shift focus back to the markets and to technicals. The markets have just about held yesterday's low. Let's re-invite Ashwini Gujral, Mitesh Thakkar and Sandeep Wagle to give us 10 a.m. trading strategies. Good morning, gentlemen. Well, Ashwini, still no trade on Nifty, is it?
See, we are not seeing follow-through post the open, and the market is basically chopping around from the lows. The NBFCs, a few banks are recovering, but there's no wholesale recovery. So let's see if that happens, because given the global environment, the best you can expect is some amount of chop. So I would think staying long on individual stocks would remain the better play today. As far as that's concerned, Symphony is a buy with a stop of 1780, target of 1860. IndusInd Bank is a buy with a stop of 1770, target of 1835. And DHFL is a buy with a stop of 515, target of 532.
Okay, Mitesh, good morning to you again. What are your trades?
Yeah, so I have a buy and a sell. Berger Paints is a buy. I highlighted that in the morning as well. That's showing good price volume action. Keep a stop at 251, look for 270 as the target. And Federal Bank is a conditional sell, so if the price breaks 89.5, that's when I would suggest to go short. Sell then with a stop at 91.2 for targets close to about 85.
Okay, Sandeep Wagle is also here with us. Sandeep, what about you? What would you buy or sell now?
I would go with a sell in a National Aluminium, stop loss of 69, target of 63, and a buy in a Berger Paints as well, stop loss of 254, target 268.
Okay, fair enough. Ashwini, just one follow-up on a stock like Biocon.
See, Biocon remains in a strong uptrend. So I would think that if you buy into it, it should rally possibly regardless of the market. As I said in the morning, it's almost at the lower end of the range, moving higher. So trying to buy here, I think anytime the pharma space outperforms, you'll get more upside. The upper end of the range is about 650, so that should be an immediate target.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us with your 10 a.m. trades. We'll touch base with you in a bit. We have to take a break now. When we return, we are going to track developments at Fortis.
Although the market is under pressure, the stocks that are really surging now are the IT stocks. So not just Tech Mahindra, TCS, etc., all up in the green. Emphasis from the broader markets is also up almost about 3% NIIT. So this pocket, entire pocket, is looking pretty good. But let's talk about the commodities now. Manisha Gupta is here to give us a quick roundup of all the action there. Hi, Manisha.
Thank you so much for that, Sonia. Well, from 71 in the US markets yesterday, we are just about holding 69.5 for the Brent crude oil prices in the global markets. And you can see that profit taking continue for the Indian space as well. So 0.5% down here. Apart from that, it is the US weekly inventory data today, and the markets are bracing themselves for 5.5 million barrels of a build-up in US inventories in the previous week. And that in turn also has weighed onto the prices. The speculative long positions in the meanwhile have continued to build up, and that perhaps will support the prices. The gold and silver prices have opened quite flat. Well, in the global markets, we have seen some profit taking in New York session yesterday, but the Asian markets have opened slightly marginally on the higher side, and that's reflecting in this space as well. We will, of course, continue to watch out for the economic data and the US dollar moves as well. That would give you further direction for this space. The base metal prices in the meanwhile, while yesterday was a strong day, whether it was US, New York, Eurozone, all of those markets were trading in the positive, but that seems to be turning around right now. One, we are profit taking from the kind of gains that we saw yesterday. The fundamentals have been on the weaker side because the near-term inventories have been increasing, and it also has to do with the US dollar, which is off its 5-week lows. That seems to be putting some pressure as well in this space. So we have sell calls from Kedia Commodities today. They have a sell in copper, nickel, zinc, all of those metals for the intraday market. For nickel, they're anticipating targets of 834 on the lower side. For zinc as well, they have a sell call, and they are watching out for 213 of a level for today.
All right. Thank you very much, Manisha, for joining us with all those details. Those are live visuals. Bhavdeep Singh waiting to address the Fortis press conference. We'll do one thing, since he's still talking on the phone.
Yeah, before we take a break, just want to point out that we made low for the day. And that, I think, is crucial because, it's expiry day as well. And we are now trading below the yesterday's low and have made, no, that's the wrong chart. We'll refresh the chart. And we've made the low of the morning. So interesting to see, whether we seek for the lower levels for now. But okay, let's take a break, as Lata said. After that, we'll be back with the Fortis press conference.